so now that we've looked at the student work, we're going to think about how it what we've learned from looking at the student work and how it relates to the course of study, how it connects to our course of study. Well, I'll start. The student work, part of the article said helping students to reflect on their own thinking. I think this was a great way. I was saying I really love this idea of having them rate their own understanding. Something I would like to use. So I think it's important that they think about their own learning and how well they understand it.
Definitely like how the students were able to reflect on it, and one of the things that we commented on was that some of them didn't honestly write down what they felt they knew. They just kind of gave themselves all fives. Like, I doubt this person got fives for everything, considering that when at the beginning of the class you said 5 was I could teach it.
Right.
So maybe if we could, I like being able to do this, but finding a way to hold them more accountable to their actual evaluations, or maybe having them, I don't know, since they're not being evaluated on it, maybe telling them that and reinforcing that it isn't honest.
Or make them actually teach it if it's a 5.
Yeah,
Scare them into it.
I have them write a question if they do the 5 things. I do just the 5 things
Yeah.
as well.
Since you're an expert.
Yeah, but even then you get kids that like, I'm only going to put a 4.
And they teach it wrong, and then they don't do it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The kids that really do believe it, they're good. I'd be that kid that's like, I'm never going to give a 5.
Yeah,
No, we're doing extra work.
Exactly.
That's I get a lot of that.
I think also the student work was very helpful because it was very organized, it was very user-friendly for them, and I think it's really important when they are doing something independent. So I think the way you create this made it very clear, and you cut for them. Lots of 5s though. You got a lot of confident
Who is
students.
that?
This is Jane Dominguez.
Yeah, I like the structure of your worksheet, the structure for the lab. It's really easy for them to go station by station and answer the appropriate questions for each station, which is paired up with like the take-home message for each station. So this could be a good reference for them. But also maybe with that in mind on this, so they could then use the whole lab as a reference. Is then on some of the sections you have that where they have the questions, and then like what is it called, diffusion. But then add up so when they're studying this, so if they don't remember what was at this station, a brief description of each one, so they could say like what happened, what is it called, kind of, so they could relate it back, which might make it a little more useful for them.
You think it would be worth it to post the stations online, like where you post the homework?
It could be, but and they may or may not look at it. What I have in mind is like, say for the one, like say this is cell membrane. So when the kid goes to like study for the test, they'll remember why they put cell membrane there. So some description of what they did or what they saw. But it's hard to do when you're doing when there are so many stations that there's a lot of reading and a lot of writing for each description.
Or maybe a good summary might actually be for the kids to name the station. Like, what was the main idea? What was station 1 all about? Cell transport, and then, almost like leaving a line blank on this.
Yeah.
And letting the kids name the main idea. What was, just for that point of reference, like Alex was saying.
Especially for the kids that finish early, like at a station.
Yeah.
Like make it optional.
Like title the stations. Right.
50-50.
Higher level thinking.
Okay, I was gonna say you could have the kids snap a picture of each, like when they're on stage, just snap a picture and then, label it station 1 and tape it down, or print it out and tape it. That way they had.
I think last year what I did was I took real life pictures of the station so you could see the model. And then rather than going over it in class, and this is why I changed it this year, they went over it at home and checked off whether they got it right or not, like based on the pictures on the computer. But then I just felt like kids didn't really get as much out of it without like somebody there to bounce questions off of, so that's why we chose to do it in class again.
Yeah, but it was good.
But to have the pictures.
But maybe also having the pictures that they can.
Yeah.
If they're if they choose to pull it up online or somewhere that they can go back, all right, what did I do with number one?
Yeah,
They might never look at it, and I post plenty of stuff online that the kids never look at,
but
but
it's there.
it's there, and like always say, well, it was there online, and you had the opportunity to look at it, let's go check it out right now.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. It's a great idea.
Would anyone like to add anything else about what we learned from student work? And Jenna, you have some final thoughts on it?
I think you guys gave me a lot to think about. I really liked your idea of putting the example on the board for the rating of the understanding. I think I'm gonna try that, especially for my really low kids who can't even like try to visualize or contemplate like what I'm talking about there. Giving them an example would really help them figure out what they need to do. Because as I was walking around, I did see some kids put 4 and 5s when I know they had no idea what was going on. I think I'm gonna change a few things for next year.
Good lesson. Do you want to be